My headphones actually broke, so I need to get new ones. So I'm going to be doing What If I Was a Pokemon Remastered. This one, like I said, is going to be the one where it's going to be the Ash storyline. So let's get on with it. So basically what would happen is a homeless kid running around Alola is well bored. He can't really do anything. One day he sees Team Skull kicking around some Pokemon, and two people actually are walking at Melee Island, and their names are Wick and Faba. Well, actually it's Wick and I don't think Faba would do that. It's Wick and Lusamine. They're walking around Melee Island just to check around, and they see Team Skull, and they're about to say stop, but then a kid runs super fast right in front. They're like, what the? And then he tackles one of the Team Skull members and then kicks the other one away, grabbing the Pokemon, grabbing the little, yep, it's a Litten. He grabs the little Litten and grabs it and runs away with, brings it and then jumps back. He says, what moves do you know? We can get rid of these guys. He said, and then the two Team Skull members say, so land it, and the Yungoos, go! And he says, alright, Litten, use Ember! And he goes, Nyata! Embodies both of them. Lusamine and Wick see how both this kid, and they realize he's homeless, because, well, it would kind of make sense. And they're like, wow, this kid actually saved a Poke. So they walk over and he's looking around for someone that can help this Pokemon. He says, anyone want to help this Litten? And Wick and Lusamine come over and they say, we'll take care of it. And he says, oh, hello. And Lusamine says, where are your parents? And he goes, I'm homeless. And Wick's like, oh, Lusamine, I have an idea. And Lusamine's like, what? She says, why don't we take this kid to Aether Foundation to get a good life? Now people are gonna say, you're making Lusamine and Wick sound like kidnappers. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Look, I'm doing this for plot convenience. So when he comes, he's immediately watching the Litten. And then she takes him, so Wick takes him to Lusamine's office to see. And she offers him 3 Pokemon to choose one of. The 3 of them are Riolu, Magby, and Elekid. He chooses the Riolu, and he becomes best friends with Lily and Gladion. Because he's like 4, Lily's like 4, and Gladion's like 5. He's a perfect friend for Gladion, and he likes to do what Lily does. So basically, he'd be trained by Faba and Gladion too. I'm not sure what Gladion's first Pokemon. It was probably like an Umbreon. Christian says, and every single day, him and Gladion have a Pokemon battle. It's Eevee versus Riolu. Christian usually wins because he has the type advantage. I'll be right back. Forgot to mention, Mon's still here, technically. Well, he never actually got captured yet. I'm pretty sure Lily and Gladion were like 5. Like, Gladion was 6 and Lily was like 5. So basically one day, Mon would get taken, blah, 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 blah. They'd all be sad, blah, 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 blah. And then, an Ultra Beast attacks. When an Ultra Beast attacks and grabs Lily. Out of nowhere. 2 Sylvallies, because remember, there's 3 Sylvallies in the entire Aether Foundation. 2 of them jump up and destroy, and defeat. And now defeat the ultimate. I'm kidding. And they defeat the Ultra Beast. Faba put the masks on them, and Christian and Gladion both leave. They're like, And Faba starts to go a little bit weird. So then he leaves. Christian leaves first, then Gladion does. Luzmine is not sad. She's just like, alright, he's probably just going to set out. So right after, Christian and Gladion would travel together for a little bit. Christian and Gladion would both find 2 rock roughs that are being bullied by Team Skull. He'd say, Riolu, force palm! And he'd say, Eevee, headbutt! And they defeated and get both rock roughs. They were both special. So when they took them in, they just adventured for 10 years. I'm kidding, 4 years since 5. Yeah, 4 years. So about 2 years later, after these two find the things, they go their separate ways. Christian actually catching a Bagon and an Eevee, evolving it into Jolteon, saying, alright, let's go head out. One day, Christian is walking down an alleyway, and Team Skull's like, hey, you better get over here. Alright, Ash is still here. He's in the Pokemon School, so is Lily. He'll be like, hey, get over here. He's like, are you ignoring me? And Christian would just look and say, I don't have to waste my time on you. And then he tries to run at him with his Landit. And he'd say, Lycanroc, go! And it wouldn't be a dusk Lycanroc or a midday or a midnight. It would be a brand new Lycanroc form that he found when he woke up in the morning and his Rockruff is howling. Dawn Lycanroc. It's a blue Lycanroc with a horn on its head, with like the rock thing on going up in his hair, and it's blue and it has the design of a midnight. And he'd say, Lycanroc, Stone Edge, now! He'd punch the ground and say, rock! Punching the ground, creating stone edges, immediately defeating all their Pokemon and just walking away. He'd say, alright, Lycanroc, return. Him and Riolu would just walk around. Then, when he comes home after his journey to greet Lucamine, he says, hello, Lucamine. And she's like, is that you, Christian? He's like, I went on a journey just to train for a little bit. Where's Lily? And she says, living with Hops. Living with her new butler, Hops. And he's like, cool, where does she live? I want to go find her. And she goes, blah, 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 blah. You see, I don't really know where Lily lives in this story, so he takes her there. She tells him where she lives, and he knocks on the door. Hops open the doors, and he's like, young Master Christian? He's like, yo, what's up, Hops? And then Lily walks up and she's like, oh! And then Riola's like, Rio! And then she gets scared and he's like, Lily, what's going on? And Lily's like, And then Hop says, Miss Lily is afraid of Pokemon. He's like, oh, so Lily, how have you been? And she says, I'm attending the Pokemon school. Would you like to come one day? He says, sure, come today. I'll come tomorrow. So Lily walks in with a trainer with like a black and blue hoodie. Walks into the classroom and says, Professor Kukui, I have a brand new student who would like to join. And he says, who's that? He says, I guess you could say half-brother. My mother brought him. And Christian says, Lily, say the details. And she's like, oh, okay. He says, so, how have you been? And he says, hey. And he just walks in and Ash is like, whoa, Riolu. And he says, hey. So basically, they would learn and then they'd go to today's training. They go for a little bit of battling. He says, hey Christian, I'd like to see a Pikachu versus Riolu battle. And he says, alright, let's go Riolu. And Ash sends out Pikachu and he says, Pikachu, you. And Ash says, Pikachu, quick attack. And then Christian says, counter. So Riolu would dodge the attack and punch Pikachu, sending it flying back, and he says, alright, force palm. He'd run right into him and say, defeating it. Sending Pikachu back, and then he'd say, alright, let's go! He'd say, vacuum wave! And then he'd hit Pikachu, defeating it, saying, wow, my training paid off. And then he said, Riolu, yeah! And then they come back in, and he's like, alright. He's like, oh, I can't believe I lost. And he says, would you like me to show you the rest of my friends? And he says, alright, let's go, everyone! But he doesn't send out the shell gun, because it evolved already. He doesn't want to send it out, because shell gun gets a little shy around people. He sends out Dawn, he sends out Lycanroc. And even Lily is shocked. She's like, what kind of Lycanroc form is that? Even Rotom Dex is confused. It's like, this is Dawn Lycanroc. And this is Jolteon. And I have another one, but that one gets scared after a while. So he returns all of them except for Riolu and says, alright, let's go. So, moving on to the Akala arc. I don't really know what comes next. I need to do an anime rewatch. So this is just going to be it for the first part. So this is basically it for now. So I'll be doing the rest after I do a little bit more.